in the dark we can surely see all these beautiful LED strings. And this is one LED, this is another LED. They act as a kind of stars. When it's completely dark, of course, then you see the beauty of these LEDs. And that LED string is in fact kind of peculiar. Because in the very past, perhaps 10 years ago, they could not make such a good LED string. And now we have here, for instance, two isolated wires going to this LED and that LED, etc., etc. They are all paralleled. That's important. They have the same properties, otherwise LEDs cannot be paralleled. And well, that is of course an important thing to tell about. Anyway, the video is about such a simple LED string. That's perhaps not very peculiar, because we find them everywhere in garden lanterns, etc., etc. But in fact we have to do with a very high quality light emitting diode string. And the video is about these LED strings. Perhaps interesting to tell only as a kind of intermezzo. I had a few infrared diodes here, and tried with such a normal small solar panel, and I shined the light of these ultraviolet diodes on it, and it didn't work. That's of course completely logical, but anyway, only an intermezzo. Interesting to tell, their frequency band of these infrared diodes is between 920 and 1000 nanometer. But let's go back to the beautiful LED unit. Of course you can study that with a spectrophotometer, try to find out all the frequencies that are inside such a light source. Could be, and here is more or less, say, the standard setup of such a light source. Here's another one. We have the standard solar cell, polycrystalline. That's important. And I found that such a polycrystalline solar cell could give out a very fierce voltage. I had not expected that. It's perhaps 3 volts, 2.5 up to 3 volts, and approximately 10 milliampere or even more, say 25 milliampere. And via that cell, this tiny accumulator is charged, and when it gets dark it switches on, etc., etc. And we always find nowadays this setup, on-off switch, and here there is a chip, that black chip here, and with that switch we can switch it on and off. Anyway, interesting at the moment I'm supplying this unit via my power supply 3.7 volts, and you can also see that there is a regarding the energy that is showed in the LEDs, the light energy, there is a kind of substantial current. Anyway, logical. Here is another type of lantern. Inside there are two batteries, AAA batteries, and here is that switch. We switch it on and switch off all the lights, of course, to show the beauty of this very, very simple LED lantern. It flickers somewhat. That is, in my opinion, by purpose. There is a kind of electronic circuit inside that makes this LED to flicker. Anyway, beautiful invention, of course, when it is in the vertical position. You can see how good this resembles to a flickering lantern. Anyway, good circuit. I had to repair it somewhat. Of course, always problems with these circuits is the contact resistance, because everything works on very, very low voltages. Say 1.5 volt, 3 volt, and when there is a tiny contact resistance, the circuit doesn't work, and you have to scrape off oxidation, etc., etc. Anyway, thanks for watching. That was all.